Hello everybody, my name is RenderTech, and apologies if this isn't the hard-boiled mode of One Night at Flumpty's 3. I'm currently working on it as we speak, but I don't know if it's a case of it's very difficult, or I just haven't played Five Nights at Freddy's fan games in a while. So I'm playing some Age of Empires 4, well I say playing. This is gameplay I recorded last Sunday, and which I'm commentating over. So the whole story behind Age of Empires 4, or not how it came to be in the whole development history, because A, that would be very boring, and B, this is a 25-minute-ish long video. I probably won't be able to cover all of that in 25 minutes. I'm going to go over the history of how I came to play this game. So, most of you know Irrational Sloth from his channel by now. He's another YouTuber who I'm also friends with in real life. There's also Turbo Gaming UK, who I met on Union for Gamers, which used to be Curse Entertainment, which was like a multi-channel network partner that we were both part of about 5 years ago, something like that. Anyways, me and Irrational are getting a bit bored of Phasmophobia because we've been playing it every week since, I think, February time, and there had been the new update. We weren't all that interested in it anymore, so we were looking for games to play, and Irrational came up with the idea of Game Pass, because it was only £1, the new Age of Empires had come out, and he recommended it. I'd never played it, didn't seem like my kind of game, so I went, yeah, okay, I'll download it. You know, it's £1 for a month for free games, I'm not going to complain. So I basically went into it blind, expecting it to be one of those kinds of games where you play it maybe once or twice, and then you never play it again. Boy, was I wrong! So what actually ended up happening was, on that Friday, which I didn't even record the gameplay because I was like, whatever, I'm probably not going to play this very much. You guys probably aren't going to be too interested in it, so I don't really see the point of recording it. The first game I didn't record, and I don't think I should have bothered. I still stand by the not bothering to record it. Second game I kind of wish I did record. But I'm actually going to link the gameplay video that Turbo Gaming released, because it was really fun, because by that point I think I played a couple of rounds and I was dying a lot, I was losing a lot, but I was also chalking it up to the fact of, I think this is because I haven't played the game properly, I haven't gone through any of the tutorials, I don't really know what I'm doing, I don't really know much about the teams. So one night, I said, right, I'm going to go through some of the tutorials, see what this whole game is about, see what strategies I can go with, and I did the Battle of Hastings, I think it was, introductory level, which was a bit of help. When I did my own custom map, lost quite badly, and then I went, okay, I'm just going to leave that for night, I'll come back to it in another day, the day after, and surprise, surprise, on my walk home, which again seems to be a running thing, this was actually on my way home, not on my way to work, which is the inverse of how it normally happens. I've been playing as the Mongolians, which is one of the factions you can go as, which Irrational again recommended because you can move around a lot. Because we had different bases, and there was no way to move I was playing as the English originally, there was no way to move your base next to other people, so you either had to fortify your base and survive and hope that the others could get to you in time, or you didn't fortify it and you ran the risk of failure. But you had to balance that, obviously, because if you're putting a lot of resources into defense building, you're not putting resources into food or population or weapons manufacturing. So whilst you might be well defended, at the beginning of the game, towards the tail end, you'd really struggle. So I kind of came up with the idea of, right, Mongolians, I have the population cap completely uncapped from the get-go, what I will do is I will move my base, as close as I can to one of the others, build around there and use their defences early game. Then that means I can just completely focus on people, population, which is what I'm doing here, and then get myself to level 4 as fast as possible, because the cool thing about the Mongolians is if you have a Uvu, I think it is, it's one of the buildings you can build, go figure, you can make 2 of them using a certain amount of stone. So say, for example, I'm trying to think of the name of a weapon, but it's like a cannon. It's called something completely different in the game. But you've got this big cannon, it's very powerful, and I think off the top of my head it costs 600 gold and 400 wood to build one of them. Whereas if you put it next to an Uvu, you can build 2 of them with the same amount of wood and the same amount of gold and at the same amount of time, but you have to then equate 1,000 stone. And there's this building you can get in level 4, or age 4 I think it is, not level 4, age 4, that's what I'm thinking of, that generates stone, I think it's at a rate of 240 stone per minute. And if you don't worry about cavalries or anything like that, you can absolutely rip through the enemy team. And I was doing that on the 2nd level. I think Irrational set it to be like a sea level, and what we did was Turbo was just focusing on land defences and was covering me, and I was sending all my men down to build all these docks, and I had all these ships, and I was completely ripping through the enemy. I think they ended up finishing them off because I'd focused so many of my resources on sea defence that we had the sea completely boxed in, but then we needed them to hunt on the land, so we could push the enemy forces back, but then they needed to do all the legwork once we got there. I think in hindsight what I probably should have done was put some defences into the docks, and then I tried to get people over so we could start building, but then obviously I started running low on resources because I built so many ships. So that's the strategy I'm running in this, because in this game that we're playing here, I'm playing against a easy and an intermediate AI, whereas the person I'm playing with is a easy AI. So I'd done a couple of games at this point, so I thought, right, that kind of feels like a fair footing, so maybe the easy can take the easy, and we can then both tackle the intermediate. No, I think it was the other way around, so the easy wouldn't be too much of a problem. I'd take the easy would take on the easy, and I could take on the intermediate. So my plan was to get as many people as possible on food and wood at the very beginning, and just get myself to age 4 as fast as possible, which you need food and gold for. The only annoying thing is when you want to say manufacture people. I'm going to say that from now on, even though it's technically wrong. When you want to manufacture people, you need to use food, which obviously you need to level up. So it's a case of, do I want to level up faster and be able to build these machines of mass destruction earlier, or do I want more people in the meantime? So say for example we have a small cavalry attacking us, I'm not screwed, because that's something that could very likely happen. You get to age 3, you have lots and lots and lots of villagers, you're at the point where you can start thinking about age 4, and then the enemy comes in with a massive cavalry, kills all your people, takes all your buildings down, and that's it, you've completely lost the game. One thing I wasn't expecting with this game, actually, it is quite demanding. When I was playing it with Turbo, there was a lot of sort of lag spikes in the game, so whenever I'd move a mouse, it was getting to the point late game where it was getting quite unplayable, and I kicked it down to low. The problem with doing that is it basically looks like a early 2000s game, where you can kind of make out the colours and the shapes and the detail, but you really can't. And you need that extra level of detail. I think medium on this game is perfectly serviceable and is a good balancing point between performance and actually being able to tell what's a person and what's a sheep. I'm just looking in the distance here at the video. I think we've got some enemies attacking. So I was basically making spearmen at that point. So you have the barracks, which I make quite early on, and I just alternate between making villagers and making spearmen. And then I'm at this point sending all of the new villagers to the gold mine so that we can level up faster, because I've just realised that there is I'm trying to remember the word for it, but it's sacred site, that's it. And sacred sites are very useful because if you secure them, they generate gold by themselves, so you have that little bit of bonus, but to get there, you need a priest to go down there and secure it, and to be able to generate priests, you need to be on level 3 or higher. So I want to make sure I get this site before the enemy does, otherwise they're going to be at a distinct advantage. I got quite terrible at this with the game, where I would just stack up lots and lots and lots of jobs for making villagers, and it's quite easy to hit your people cap, because you've got a cap of 200 people on the map per player. So I'd be going around like Thanos, basically, and just going, everything goes by chance. That's a stupid idea. It'd be a cool idea, like, just there's an idea for the developers if they're watching, it's incredibly unlikely they're watching, but if you're looking for a new idea for a game mechanic, developers of Age of Empire. Nearly said, I'm going to finish this sentence before I go off on a tangent. Add that snap feature. Right, tangent time. That needs to be a regular thing. Whenever anybody, because I'm a huge Transformers fan, which a lot of people here might not actually know, when people say AoE, I immediately think Age of Extinction, which is of course, and this being the 4th Age of Empires film doesn't help, because the 4th live-action Michael Bay Transformers film is called Age of Extinction. So when people originally said AoE 4, I'd be like, yes, it is the 4th film. Unless I'm missing something. Are you counting the 1986 animated film with... Oh, what's his name? How have I forgotten? Leonard Nimoy, that's it. But it's the one with Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron. And they're like, no, it's an actual game. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to play that. We're doing quite well here. I think we are around about age 3. I can see we're at age 2, but it looks like we're reasonably close to age 3. We're expanding quite well. The enemy seems to be getting attacked a lot, but thankfully they're not hitting us, so it's not really my problem. It will become my problem if they destroy the enemy flat out, but I don't think I've ever had that. The enemy AI always takes me out first, for some reason. When I was playing with Turbo and Irrational for the first time, that's basically what happened. The enemy just targeted me. Nobody else, just me, which was quite annoying, because every 5 seconds, like, oh, Render's getting attacked again, can you send some men? And then they'd send all their men over. Right now we're being attacked. Fantastic. Which again is the reason I went with the Mongolians in the end, because as the English you can't move your troops. So the Mongolians are a bit more annoying, but you can set up a lot better. So I wouldn't really move stuff around. Like, I think the only thing you can't move is the Yuvu. I don't tend to move stuff about. I just find a nice place which looks kind of secure, has a lot of room, and has a good amount of defense. And then there you go, we've just hit the third stage.